So we're going to replace three heads on our magazine, Maclean's magazine. Here's an updated one, Maclean's Newsmakers 2016. And if you like to use this one, feel free to do so. Otherwise, there is another version that you can use. I've already taken the time to green screen Izzy's picture, and I placed it over top of Hillary Clinton in the bottom left-hand corner. Some tricks that I can use to match up. I would want to edit, free transform, scale the head, and if I control the opacity, I can match up with the eye position. Now this head doesn't completely cover up, but that's pretty close. Hey, I'm going to set the opacity back up to 100%. Now what I need to do is erase most of the body here. And the way to do that, I'm going to temporarily hide, maybe I'll call layer 1 Izzy, and I'll temporarily hide that layer. I'm going to use my quick selection tool, and I'm going to select the body of Hillary Clinton. Now I've got a little bit extra. Oh, here we go. That's not too bad. I think if I get a smaller brush, I want to get just the shoulder area here. Doesn't really want to select that. So if I grab my lasso tool and press shift to add to my selection, I can get a bit more of the body there. So that's okay. Press shift, I'll add a little bit more here. And I find it very useful to zoom in. I'm going to use my lasso tool. I'm going to press alt, and I'm just going to subtract a little bit off right in here. So I'm pressing alt right now to subtract that selection. So the neck area looks pretty good. Maybe I'll press alt and I'll just subtract that off right there. Okay, the reason why I want to do this is because I want just the head of Izzy to appear here. So now I'll press, by the way, to zoom in is alt and click on your magnifying tool. Now I'm going to click on the eyeball to toggle the visibility of the Izzy layer and simply erase. So I'm going to grab my eraser tool, and once I've got the position of the neck good, I'll press my left arrow, or sorry, my left square bracket. I want to get a nice soft eraser, and I'm going to erase. So I just drag over top, erase everything here, and I'm protected. I cannot erase the neck area, so that's going to allow me just to erase what I need to. And so good. Control D to deselect, and now I have just a head of Izzy. Whoops, I forgot to erase a bit more here, so I'm going to erase all this down here. Keep erasing Izzy, and a little bit over in this area here. Okay, so I pretty much have a head where I want it. Now, in order to blend it in a little bit, one trick that you can do is I'll press Control, click on Izzy to activate that layer so I can see the selection here. What I like to do is grab a brush tool, top left-hand corner. I am going to, oops, let's see, I need an airbrush. There it is. So if I click in the top left-hand corner, airbrush, soft round, 50% flow, that'll work nicely. I'm going to add some shadow, and I'm going to get a fairly dark gray here, and a little bit of shadow here will give it a sense of realism and make it seem as if it's sort of planted, let's see, into, you know, that it belongs here and it's in part of the shirt here. Just kind of like that. You know, you might take it there. Might take a bit of work. You don't need a whole lot. Otherwise, you just got a very rigid neck that's sort of stuck. Okay, now what I'm going to do, you can match skin tone color by going Image, Adjust. I'm going to control the levels first off, and I'm going to maybe just darken just a little bit here. Okay, so I can control the black pixels, the middle gray pixels, and the white pixels. Okay, by controlling the levels. You can also do things like putting on a another layer here, and let's see, I'm going to actually duplicate the Izzy layer by pressing Control J. And if I press Control, I'm going to put a filter on. So image adjust filter. So a photo filter. You can warm it up, and you'll see what happens. You know, a little bit, slightly different. Okay, that's one way you can do it. Another way is if you fill it with a color. So I'm going to grab a paint bucket tool. I'm going to grab kind of a brownish color in here for skin. And let's maybe go here and I'll just fill. All right, so I can fill the whole layer if I want, or I can kind of paint it in. Um, this might not look very good right now, but if I were to adjust the blending mode, okay, you can see the face changing here. So that's one trick that you can do to try and match the skin color a little bit. You can darken the skin, you can lighten the skin, done through your blending modes. So I'm just going to rotate through. So some of them will look better than others. I don't really want to do that here in this case, so I'm going to delete that. Now, I've got a challenge here because I can see some of Hillary Clinton's head in the background. So what I'm going to do is clone that out. So I'm going to temporarily hide Izzy. And I'm going to go to my layer 0, grab my clone stamp tool with a small brush, and I'm going to try and clone it out. So Alt is to find my source. Let's see, let's try that again here. Whoop, clone stamp tool. There we go. Alt defines the source. I'm going to use a smaller brush here. I can actually sort of paint over top of a lot of Hillary Clinton. I'm going to try and maybe get this. I'm going to zoom in here. This is going to be very. Yeah, let's go here. All right. Alt defines my source. All right. All right. You know what? I'm going to just protect this yellow area. I'm having some trouble with that, so I'm going to grab my lasso tool, and I want to make a selection over top of this area right in here. Whoop, it's very laggy right now using the video screen recorder. So I'm protected here in this area, and now I'm going to try and clone out this area in here. Okay, you're gonna have to do the same at the top. If I deselect, Alt, and just clone. So I press Alt to define my source. This one's a bit easier. And let's see how this is looking now. Yeah, I've got a lot more work to do here. So basically, the clone stamp tool is the only way that you can get rid of the background. Okay, and that's it. You need to find 2 more heads. Try and match the skin tone. You're going to have to clone out areas around the head. And that will be about it for the assignment.